Oh boy, everyone, I have literally not live streamed in forever. I have no idea what I'm doing. This live stream doesn't exist. It's not even real. Don't count it. Don't count it. I don't count it. It's not lore. I don't think it's lore, at least. It's probably lore, unfortunately. These videos are just something that, in times of great distress, we cannot erase from the internet. If we do, it looks cowardly and shameful. If you make a choice, you go full in on it, boy. And in any case, we're probably playing Sonic Mania today because I've never played it before, and I'd like to give it a try. Now, Jesus Christ, that Sega is loud. Dear God. Why? Why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? Let me make it full screen, because it's... Jesus Christ, that is loud as fuck. Jesus. Okay, let's turn the volume down. Holy shit. Sound. Music. All the way down. Dear God. Holy fuck, that was loud. Video settings, full screen on, and then let's go back. Yes. Let's see, Alt Tab, OBS. Is OBS picking up the game yet? Just capture specific window. Okay. Windows sonicmania.exe. Is it working? Huh. It doesn't seem to be showing up. Force scaling? Maybe if I change that, it'll work. Okay, so for some reason, the game's not showing up on OBS, so what I'm gonna do is create display capture, and then I'm gonna try and, let me look at the stream and see how it's coming up on the stream. It says the stream is offline. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why is it... let me look here. I have no idea how to live stream. Legitimately. I don't know what I'm doing. Display capture. It's not showing up! What the fuck? Okay, now it's showing up. Now I can see what's going on. What I did was I had it set up on the wrong scene. Okay. Log into the right channel. Let's pop out the chat. Okay. So now we understand how to actually use the fucking thing instead of sitting here and being confused. For some reason, YouTube had just logged me into a different account, and I have no idea why, because I was on Infinite Outlaw when I had started up the live stream. For some reason, it just put me on the other account, and I don't understand why. Now let's try to see if Sonic Mania will work. Game capture. Let's use it. Come on, man. Maybe if I delete display capture? No, it didn't work. Fuck. Display, okay. So I just have to do it this way then. Okay. Hello, Isaiah. Okay, now the game is gonna fucking work. Honestly, I don't care if it doesn't look right on the screen from here on, because I have tried to do everything in my power to make it work, and it has not worked. I want to try and use my controller to play this game, but it doesn't look like there's an option to do that, because I pirated it, so let's do it. Let's play a video game. New save. Oh boy. I've never played Sonic Mania at all before. This is a new experience. I love how this game looks. Holy shit. This is just like the old game. This looks so good. Oh my god. Oh boy. I always hate cutscenes on video games unless they just look like really aesthetic, or if it's from like a JRPG or something. Like cutscenes on video games I almost always skip. Like, I hate them. Okay, so what were the controls again? Okay, so that's up, that's down. Okay. But yeah, like, cutscenes in video games are just something that I've pretty much always skipped since I was a kid, just because I immediately wanted to get to the experience. But the weird thing about it when I was little was, when I would see a cutscene, I would just feel the urge to, like, not want to skip it, despite what I actually wanted was to skip it, because I felt guilty about not paying attention to the story, because I thought, like, someone in my house was just gonna, like, look at me as, like, not a real gamer for not wanting to participate in the story or whatever. I don't really know why I felt that way, but I guess maybe it was because my dad just always watched the cutscenes in games. I honestly have no idea, but I would just feel the urge to just skip a cutscene because I wanted to play the game, and then eventually it just became a force of habit to always watch them. And then when I would go to a friend's house in 6th grade, my friend Hunter and my friend Bryce, like, I would go to their house and we would just play Xbox 360 games. And when I was there, both of them had always skipped the cutscenes because they just wanted to get to the action. And I looked at that and I was like, whoa, like, this is a new concept to me. How can you do this? I've never played video games this way my entire life, because I had just sort of felt conditioned to this one way of playing video games. And it had gotten to the point where I had literally just been confused and, you know, not really disgusted, but I just felt like, ugh, you know, that's a bad way of doing things. But the more I thought about it, the more I understood that it was just the optimal way of getting towards the fun parts of the games. Because if the cutscene is irrelevant to the gameplay, then why would I watch it? Like, the reason I play a video game is to have a fun and engaging experience. Psychonauts, my favorite game of all time, I never skip the cutscenes in that, because the cutscenes are intrinsic to what the gameplay is. If you play a level in Psychonauts, more than likely you are going to be in an environment that is structured specifically to express something about the story. If you look at, you know, the Milkman level, for example, if I recall correctly, the Milkman had schizophrenia. He had delusions about who he was and what his purpose was, and he had created this fantastical paranoid scenario within his own head. And when you go into that level in Psychonauts, the entire world is just topsy-turvy, and roads don't entirely, like, fit, and they're, like, going up and down and stuff, and it just looks like the mind is disordered and disorganized, which is what I would imagine the mind of someone with schizophrenia is like. I mean, I have schizoaffective disorder, I don't have schizophrenia, but, like, you know, if you have, like, full-on schizophrenia, it would probably look something a little bit like that. And, like, there were just so many little details within the Milkman's levels with the, or level, rather, with, you know, just hinting towards a conspiracy, just showing these little details about who he is and his personality and what led him here. And the same can be said with the figments that you find in each level, or the memories that you find in each level, because if I recall correctly, there are, like, these little, like black and white sheets that you essentially find, where, like, you can just look at memories from each person's past, and throughout the entire level you just find these little remnants of who each of these people are. And another great example of this is Gloria's level in Psychonauts, because the entire level is literally just structured the way a bipolar person's mind would be. Like, it just goes from super angry to super sad, and it just flips like a switch would. It just goes back and forth, and like, the way that the level plays out is is like the way that person's mind would be, and it helps you empathize with them. It helps you understand these aspects of the story through how you play the game, and that's why that's my favorite game of all time. That's why I never skip the cutscenes, and also as well, like, they talk dialogue within, like, the actual gameplay, which just helps, and there's generally speaking, there's a lot of interesting lore to the game. It's very funny, like, the comedy in the game is really well done. And so, like, if you want me to watch cutscenes, if you want me to pay attention to your bullshit, don't have fucking ludonarrative dissonance like in a Call of Duty or a Tomb Raider, where I watch your fucking cutscene and it doesn't feel like it means anything. Like, if I watch your cutscene and it feels entirely disconnected from the gameplay itself, you are doing something wrong. We should be making the gameplay and the cutscenes coalesce with one another, like Psychonauts does, like Metal Gear Solid does. And I know Metal Gear Solid is notorious for having long cutscenes that feel like they don't have a point, but there are a lot of moments within that series that just perfectly blend your actions with the story with the gameplay itself. And I did a whole video about that called Metal Gear Solid Story and Gameplay Go Hand in Hand, where I basically just explain why Metal Gear Solid is also, like, one of my favorite games. So my taste tends to be very specific. It tends to be very punchy. I don't particularly like games for the story unless they do them really well, or unless they're just a JRPG where you know exactly what you're getting into. Like, when I play a JRPG, I intend on reading a whole bunch. When I play a video game, my expectations are a bit different. I expect to get a video game. And if you are going to deliver an interactive experience, the story element should also be interactive. I should also, you know, have those cutscenes mean something in the context of the actual levels that I play, you know what I mean? Let me pause this, let me check the chat out. Is there anything going on in the chat? No, there's not. But yeah, it's, is this unlisted? Yes, this is unlisted. Okay. I just made the live stream public. Oh shit. Yeah, I spent that entire rant talking about fucking ludonarrative dissonance, and then I realized that the live stream was not even public. That's the worst thing, you know, when you like spend all of this time just going on this rant, and then you just realize, oh wait, yeah, the live stream isn't even public. Dear God, just alleviate me from this mortal coil. Ugh. Why is this not in the software folder? That's what I want to know. Let's play Touhou. Because I haven't played Touhou in a while, and I generally enjoy playing it on live streams. So, which one are we gonna play? Let's play Touhou 14. This one is really good. I'm probably gonna have to turn it down because it's gonna get real fucking loud, but it is a good game. Close. I think that's the right setting? I don't know. I honestly... Let's see. I think it still has the settings that I have from when I turned down the, from when I turned the volume all the way down. But Touhou is really fun. Touhou is much more of like a game that you can zone out to. Like with Sonic Mania, with a platformer, it gives you a lot of different elements to focus on in terms of like a goal. But with Touhou, yes, there are a lot of different things going on the screen that you have to look at and that you have to be attentive towards, and it puts you more in the game because of that. But at the same time, something about it just feels comfy. Like, I can just zone out to this game a lot of the time. I can just sort of zone out to the sense of chaos that it brings, while also being completely enamored by all the details going in on screen. It's like I exist in this stasis, or that my body has left its, my mind has left its physical body. You know, I'm just so focused on one task that, you know, I can't really get my mind out of that. And it's just interesting, the entrancing experience that games like Touhou can have. Whereas with a game like Sonic Mania, you're focusing more on the platforming and on the world, and so it's more of a direct, immersive experience, you know. But I really like video games a lot. Like, there's so many different elements of video games that I connect with on a very deep level because that's what I grew up with. You know, when I was a kid, at about 3 years old, I had started out, or no, not even 3, 2. Yeah, I had started out with the Dreamcast when my brother would be playing Sonic Adventure and Seaman and Quake and all those different games. I would watch and I would just be completely enthralled by it. Like, seeing the Dreamcast I thought was one of the coolest things, and both my dad and my brother were super into video games, and for better or worse, when I was little, they were people I did look up to, and so I wanted, you know, I wanted that to be a part of my life because I saw what they were doing. And so at an early age, I had picked up the controller to play Sonic Adventure, and it is still something that is etched in my mind after all this time. I still remember picking up that controller. I still remember attempting to talk to Seaman and trying to become friends with it when I was little. As I became 3, I played like Halo, and I played a couple other OG Xbox games. I played Ratchet and Clank, I played Mr. Mosquito, and you know, just PS2 stuff. What else was it? I think I probably played Jak and Daxter a little bit. I would watch my dad playing Fatal Frame, and that looked pretty cool. And there was some kind of astronaut game that he would play. I don't remember what it was called though. But yeah, that game was pretty cool. And like I would, you know, I would just play like just random stuff on the Xbox, mostly Halo. Like I was really big into Halo back then. And then as I got older, like when I got 5 years old, I played Aeon Flux on the Xbox. I played a couple other things, just like when I believe it was when I turned 6, around that point, they had put the GameCube in my room, and I was completely obsessed with the GameCube. Like, I loved all the games that we had for it. I would just play them all the time. And as I got older, I bought more GameCube games, and it was like, it was my favorite thing. I really loved the GameCube. And even though, like, I was born in 2002, I've always been stuck with game consoles that are a generation below the current one, or even farther back than that, because my family lived in a very low-income household, and so we couldn't afford buying new games. And so I would always be playing these you know, older generations games, not caring, because hey, it's a video game, that's what I want. And I would be way into it because of that. I had just always been in an environment where I was obsessed with video games. There would be very few days where I wouldn't be thinking about video games, at least, or trying out a video game, or playing the one that I had played before, and it was just always something that was on my mind, especially as I got into the internet. As soon as I got into the internet, the first thing I looked up was other video game consoles that I didn't know about. The first thing I would look at would be walkthroughs. I remember for hours and hours as a kid, I would just obsessively look at the box art for video games and read descriptions of what they were about. GameFAQs.com was my best friend because all information about every game on every console was there. And then I would go on the message boards, and then I would pretend that I had played all the games, and I would just argue with people, and it was really funny. But everyone hated me on the message boards, so I had to keep changing my username and getting a different account because I started to get this sort of infamy around each account as that little kid who's spamming the boards. And I had a very like weird and edgy identity just because I would like to fuck with people and just get into arguments. And I would often argue that, oh, the older stuff is better because it looks worse, and I didn't really know how to argue anything back then. But suffice it to say, video games were always there. They were always on my mind, even if I wasn't going to play something again that day, because I didn't really buy that many new games much, so I would just play the old ones over and over again. I would usually be thinking about them in some capacity. And as I've gotten onto YouTube, specifically into the analysis sphere, the first analysis video I ever made was on January 2nd of 2017. It was an analysis video of Sword Art Online, the first episode, which is one of the worst videos on YouTube. It's really bad, but when I came there with that video, what I had wanted to do, like, with my life and with my time had shifted completely, because now I was an analyst, you know. I was someone who cared about anime. I was someone who was doing stuff about anime. And then from then on, at the beginning of 2016 to now, the only thing that's really been on my mind has just been watching anime and YouTube. Like, YouTube and anime have been such a big thing for me all this time that I haven't even really been looking at new video games. I haven't been trying to download anything or try anything out on my own time. I've just kind of consumed other stuff. And also, you know, my friendships and relationships on Discord have completely eaten away most of my time. Like, the time that I would normally spend in a day when I was little playing an entire video game is now, you know, marred by me being in 6-hour conversations with my friends, which is fine. I mean, I love my friends and they're important to me. And, I mean, more so nowadays, I'll go on walks and I'll exercise. I'll just try and do things to keep myself healthy. I'll be listening to music. I've just diversified my interests so heavily that I don't have that same autistic obsession with just video games all the time. My money isn't being put towards just video games all the time. Now I get anime posters. Now I get, you know, more practical things if I need that, clothes and stuff. Like, it's not just constantly about getting new video games, about amassing this collection of every video game, of looking at fucking pricecharting.com every single day to see if a game had gone up in price. That was something I would do every day. I would always be wondering, did this game go up in price? What are the prices looking like? What game should I buy next because I don't want the prices to fluctuate? That was how I thought about it. I didn't think about which one do I want to play. I thought about which one is the best investment long term because I might want to play it eventually. It was obsessive. It was about the buying habits. It was about the aesthetic of having a collection, and it had started out as simply loving video games and wanting to play a lot of video games until it became this weird otherworldly obsession. And I mean, it was fine for a while, but eventually I just kind of got out of it. I got out of casual gaming, got out of hardcore gaming. It was just something I didn't do for months and months on end. 0 video games played. And I miss that. I miss, maybe not necessarily being super obsessive with it, but just playing lots of video games. Like, at least getting one beaten in a week or like every couple days. Like, just having my mind occupied by a video game space. And I remember a couple months back I got into Call of Duty Black Ops in a big way because I would just constantly be playing online matches, and that game, the reason why I chose that one at the time was because it distracted me from my depression. When I played that game and when I was just constantly just getting raped by other people online, it felt good to me because I was distracted. I was focusing on the fact that I was like about to get shot by the person next door over in the building that I was walking through, you know, like I had to constantly be on edge, and so when you're in a state like that, you don't really have time to think about your problems. You don't really have time to think about how depressed you are, and so video games have always been tremendously therapeutic for me because of that, because they allow an escape. And when I got into Black Ops, it was sort of like a new era for me because I was really, really depressed and embarrassed, and I was thinking about like just issues I was having in life, and this sort of longing I had for a romantic relationship and stuff. And so I would just sit there, put on a podcast or put on some music, and just play Black Ops for hours in my cousin's living room. I didn't really go to school or anything because I didn't have school. I don't go to school, so I just every single day it would be the same thing. Wake up, you know, put on some videos, watch Digi and May doing whatever Digi and May are doing because they have an hour video out every day. Then sit on Discord for a little bit, play Black Ops. That was it. It was all I had. And there's something about that time that was pretty comfy, even though I was, you know, dealing with a number of just heavy things at the time. Something about that game just gave me comfort because it distracted me. It made me feel like everything else in the world just didn't exist, and I want to go back to that. I want to find more games that can do that for me. I want to, because first-person shooters have always been a very big genre for me, right? Because that's what I grew up with, and there's an immediate sense of distraction with them because there's so many enemies around and you really have to focus on them, but at the same time they're not like super hard, you know what I mean? And so I've always been big into those games, and so that's why like PS2, Xbox 2, PS3, and Xbox 360 are like some of my favorite times in gaming. And I mean, I go back to old times. I really love old games as well, but that era is great for me because I love first-person shooters. Because first-person shooters have just always been able to provide that sense of comfort for me, to provide a distraction when I felt suicidal or when I was upset, when I had, you know, when I would go through like a PTSD attack, and I would like be depressed for like upwards of a couple weeks or a month about something traumatic I was going through. I would just tune it all out by playing a video game. I remember when several family members died, I did the same thing. I would just tune it all out by playing a video game. And that's an escape that, you know, anime and YouTube haven't always been able to provide for me. YouTube more so, but, you know, video games are just a special type of escape because it enraptures so many of our senses that we have to have our head in the game or else we die. And so I want to go back to that because I have been very depressed, and like I've been taking out a lot of my feelings on just doing push-ups and on taking walks. I've been making sure to go outside at least once every day, and I take a walk to the park, and I'll just keep on walking, and I'll walk around the park for a while and just get some sun. Maybe I'll go for a sprint, and just try to get as much energy out as I can, and just try and be in the sun for a while, because that's also good for you. Then I'll do some meditation, then I'll, you know, do push-ups to just like try and get that upper arm strength going. And I've been doing this rather consistently ever since I made the video saying goodbye to YouTube, and I think it is immensely helping me to have that activity, to be outside, And yes, it was difficult to get over my anxieties when it comes to that. I haven't fully done so yet, but I am making progress. It's just about taking those steps, and even though I have been very depressed, I am making progress. And in order to continue making progress, I believe it would probably help to just sit down and play some video games each day, to just immerse myself in those things that I love and that I care about. So that's what I want to try and do from now on, is just to get back into video games. That's one of my goals for these next like couple months, because I'm probably going to go through some heartbreak again. I went through heartbreak just a few days ago with my ex-boyfriend, and I'm probably going to experience it again. You know, the nature of falling in love with people is to have your heart broken, and that's okay. It's just the reaction I had to it was just very extreme, partly because of how it was done by the other person, but also because I have very bad emotional problems and am kind of unstable as a person. But I want to change that. And I think, you know, maybe next time my heart's broken, I can just get into video games and just stay. Just stay in video games for a while, because that's how I've been able to get over these things all the other times, and I can do it again. But let me check the chat, because I don't know if anyone said anything in the chat yet. Live dashboard. Oh geez, 4 people are watching. Holy fucking shit. Oh, sorry to comment on the gameplay, but do you not know how to slow down, or is the slower speed this fast? I don't remember Touhou being this fast and it distracts me. I'm pretty sure the game is just this fast. Like, this one specifically, this is Touhou 14, and I'm pretty sure Touhou 14 is just this fast. Like, I don't know of it being any less fast, because it's going at 60 frames per second right now, which is what it's supposed to do. So I have no idea. I'm gonna play a different game now though, because as much as I like Touhou 14, I'm not good at it. So I'm probably, yeah, I'm gonna play a different one. But yeah, as I said, like, after everything that happened, you know, between me and him, it's just been nice to just focus on video games for a little while, just to have something. And oh, holy fuck, that is loud. Let's turn this down. BGM is off, thank God. Full screen. Okay. But yeah, like, it's just been nice to have something that I can just fully focus myself on, to not be sad, or at least to, like, distract myself from the pain for a little bit. Because, you know, it's better than killing myself, you know? If video games can keep me from killing myself, then I don't care about being a basement dweller for a few hours each day. Like, it's better than dying, you know? Like, I almost OD'd on fentanyl. Like, my life was almost gone. Like, it's that's crazy to think about, isn't it? You know, I've gone through 4 different individual suicide attempts. One at 10 years old, one at 11, one at 14, and one at 15. And all of them, I had came very close to just ending everything right there. It all would have been gone. I wouldn't be able to wake up another day to experience video games. I wouldn't be able to wake up another day to try my best to make someone smile, or to make myself smile, or, you know, to watch George Carlin and Endless Jest videos. Like, all of those things would have been gone forever. And I mean, I realize when I die, everything's going to be black, and so I'm not going to care about those things when I'm dead. And one of the many things that leads you to committing suicide is the fact that you feel like you can't enjoy anything. But even when I can't enjoy video games, at least they provide a distraction. At least they give my mind something to do, something to be occupied by. And that's better than nothing. You know, if I'm alive for another day because video games were distracting me, then that is another day that I am surviving, and that I am able to take the time to continue going to therapy, to continue meditating, to continue to continue, you know, reading about Buddhism, and to continue, you know, trying to better myself and trying to break the psychological conditioning that I've been put under from living in an abusive household, you know. It's just about living long enough to be able to improve yourself, and I believe that I have the ability to do that, because I'm still young. Like, I'm not even 25 yet. Like, I'm 16 right now. When you turn 25, that's when your brain hardens, and it's much harder to change by that point. I mean, there are, like, I was reading this book called Treating Men Who Batter, where it was called, like, practice programs and treatments or whatever, where it was basically about, like, literally trying to break the psychological conditioning of abusive fathers. And a lot of the people that they were doing these practices on, that these practices had worked on, were well into their 40s and 30s, you know, maybe even 50s sometimes, and yet these practices had worked for them. They were still able to change, and those people are far worse than I am. Like, I'm not going to hurt anyone, you know, I'm not at risk of hurting anyone. I'm a much more reasonable person than those people, and I'm 16. Like, if those people who are that old are able to change, then why am I not able to change as someone whose brain is literally still developing? My brain is not done. It still has time before it's hardened. And so what I gotta do is just focus every single day on my efforts to better myself. And I have been doing that. Like, I've been getting up each day around the same time. I've been, you know, going outside and just doing exercises and taking walks and, you know, meditating and talking to better mental health counselors. And I've been, I'm gonna get on a medication soon to help with, like, seeing things that aren't there and stuff. And yeah. It's just a process, really. Like, it takes time, but the time that I'm going to be taking is worth it, because it allows me to learn another language. It allows me to do these goals that I want to do, and those goals are very important to me. Like, I really, really want to be able to go out there and to, you know, actually be able to get some shit done with my life, and to be able to say, yes, you know, I can speak Spanish, I can speak Vietnamese, I can read Japanese comparably, you know, and have a fucking cute Vietnamese wife to show for it, you know? I think that wouldn't be so bad. In fact, pretty nice. It would also, because I would like to have children, but at the same time, when I think about the genes that I have, I wouldn't want to put that on, you know, to put that on a child, because, you know, I inherited, you know, hallucinations and stuff from my father, and my mom has BPD, and so, I don't know, I don't want to give those genes to a child. That just, it feels cruel. It feels very cruel to do that to someone. I would much rather just adopt a child in need and then try my best to raise them properly. And I would certainly, you know, just read as much as I can about the act of doing that, and try to, like, put myself under control before I had a kid, because I don't want to raise a kid before I'm ready. I don't want to just rush into things before I feel that I have the proper knowledge to actually take care of another person, because if I don't have that knowledge, then I am literally going to be fucking up someone's life. Like, think about that. If you haven't done your research, and if you haven't grown enough as a person, and you have a kid, that is someone's entire life that's on the line. The experiences you have when you're little, the experiences you have in your upbringing, in many ways define who you're going to be for the rest of your life. And yes, that conditioning can be broken to an extent. You can improve yourself, but that takes a shit ton of effort in comparison to just being raised right. And think about that. think about how much of an effect you have on someone's life as a parent. And so I really want to be able to be a good parent because of that. I want to be someone who is worthy of being called, you know, of being called a parent, who's worthy of you know, walking around taking care of another life, because that is an important job. That is a job that should not be taken lightly, because where that person goes in later in life is going to be dependent on how you treated them, and where that person goes could very much shape the world as a whole. You don't know what their interactions are going to do to other people, and so you got to be thinking ahead with this stuff. You know, what if that person becomes a scientist? What if, you know, they become the next Elon Musk or whatever with Telsa? Oh boy, you know, like, let's are they gonna bust some unions, or are they gonna do some cool stuff? Who knows? Like, but you can help them be actually cool instead of being a fucking drug dealer in a ditch somewhere. You know what I mean? So it is just a process. It's a process of bettering yourself until you're worthy of loving and worthy of receiving the love of your family and of the one you love. So yeah, it's I am working as hard as I can to be better, and I've made commitments in the past to just do good stuff, and like, oh, you know, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but I always got too depressed to go through them. But I've just been so motivated lately from this breakup that, like, I had sort of an epiphany on, like, even the days where I feel too depressed to do anything, I've nonetheless continued going outside and continued practicing at the goals that I want to, because I just force myself to do it. And that's something that I've never really been able to do that much. Like, I've done it with writing and videos and stuff, but it never really extended to anything beyond that. I was never really able to apply it to self-betterment to a great extent, but lately I have been, and I'm really proud of myself for being able to do that. Let's check the chat again. Alt-tab. Hey. I meant when you press shift, you could be going slower to do more precise movement. Going outside is great. I would recommend cycling too, because it's less tiring and you can cover more places when you're exploring and looking around, if you're into that. Yeah, I would like to start cycling. It seems really, really fun. I'm not very good at riding a bicycle at all, because no one ever taught me, but I'm going to try. But maybe America is worse for cycling and exploration than Europe. Yeah, it kind of is, because everyone around here drives like assholes. People are bad in America. Not so much in Virginia. Like, in Virginia here, I'm actually very surprised about how people drive, because they're actually very considerate and kind to other people. They seem to be able to, you know, actually look when someone is crossing the street and not be a dick to them. So that's nice. When I lived in Oklahoma, it was like everyone just drove like a fucking maniac. Like, people would, like, you know, almost hit bumpers and stuff. They would just, like, slam on the gas and stuff like that. Like, it was crazy in Oklahoma, the drivers. Like, that's why Oklahoma is known for having some of the most dangerous highways. And it's not the best. In Tennessee, everyone was just drunk all the time. Like, people would often drive drunk in Tennessee, but Virginia seems to be a nice place with actual cool people. Alex Horatio says, you're wrong about the brain hardening after 25. That's when the brain development stops. Yeah, the reason why I said hardening was just because that seems to be a common myth when it comes to when it comes to brain development. I don't actually know how that works. That was just something that I've heard, and I apologize for wording it that way. Neuroplasticity is a different thing, which is increased with things like meditation and certain drugs. Okay. Neuroplasticity maxes out at birth and just slowly goes down until you die unless you take the steps too simple. What is neuroplasticity? I don't even know what that is. Or he's probably gone. Anyway, I just tuned in this for a bit, so see ya. And then Alex says, oh shit about what? And then Muno says, why do you want to learn Spanish and also live in Vietnam? Is it the communism? I think Vietnam is just generally a nice place. Like, it's really cool to live in Vietnam just because there's so much stuff. That I know that sounds silly the way I worded that, but seriously, hear me out. There's just stuff there. Like, you go outside and there's cars everywhere. There's like motorbikes and stuff, and it's chaos. It's just absolute chaos, and I love the weather. I love the language. I love the food. I love the people. Everything about it is just nice. As for learning Spanish, I would just like to explore Latin America. It isn't necessarily because of the communism. I would like to go to Cuba to learn Spanish, but not because Cuba is a communist country, just because it's the easiest to learn Spanish in Cuba. It's like barely any money to do that, so Spanish is just a cool and applicable language that can be used in a lot of different contexts, and Latin America is cool. Adoptive parents have no statistical effect on their children. 99% are genes and peer influence. What do you mean by have no statistical effect? It's genes don't define everything about you. Like, the way that, yeah, that peer influence as well is a huge thing, but like, being a parent also has a big influence on how people view the world, because that's an experience that you're exposed to, right? Those are people that you're exposed to. You know, if I weren't abused by my parents, would I have the aggressive tendencies that I sometimes do? Would I be as depressed as I am? Probably not. You know, like, so if you have parents who are super kind to a kid and, like, are, you know, bring them up with good values, then, you know, it has been proven to work. So, you know, parents play an influence. They do stuff. It's just a matter of knowing how to do it correctly and, like, working around a child's mind. Because I remember reading a study about atrollism, and like it said, like, empathy atrollism can basically be instilled in your upbringing if you just talk with a kid and raise them right or whatever. DZ Dog says, what's up? Not much, just thought I'd live stream for a little bit. Muno says, what really makes me never want to go to America is that so much of it is a desert and every city is in squares. I need labyrinths, forests, connecting labyrinthine villages and fields. Same, dude! Like, I love just beautiful forests that have so much going on in them that, like, there's these dense little details that you can just sink your teeth into. Like, the problem for me with America is that just so much of it looks the same. Like, there's not really that much personality in anything that goes on in America. There's just the same thing over and over and over again. Like, I've been through most of America now for at least a little bit, and I can confirm, after seeing nearly the entire country, most of it is just the fucking same. Like, I don't care. So, when I go to other countries, there's just more stuff going on. Like, in Vietnam, there's palm trees and stuff. There's cool stuff. And DZ says, it's how malleable your brain or personality is. Then Spacey says, plasticity is basically synonymous to flexibility in that sense, meaning that the brain can bend and morph to new ideas and behaviors. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good to know. Muno says, we're the only other nation that has Vietnamese recognized as a language, by the way. A lot of Vietnamese here from the Soviet bloc. They make great food. Fucking love rice paper rolls. Oh boy. Which part of the Soviet bloc are you in, by the way? Like, is it Armenia or Ukraine? Because I've never heard of a European country that has Vietnamese as a recognized language. That's actually really cool. Spacey Filmer says, I mean in studies with twins growing up in separate households, they aren't influenced by the adoptive parents at all. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, Czech Republic, okay. Yeah, Czech Republic seems really interesting. I have never been there, but I would love to go. The language seems esoteric and stupid, so I don't want to learn it. I have a surprising amount of viewers in the Czech Republic. That's always confused me, because one of my first like big viewers was from the Czech Republic. And he would just leave these really edgy, self-deprecating comments on my videos. And I think he was like 18. And like he had this blue avatar with just a period on it. And like he would just constantly leave comments on my videos that were super long and esoteric. And oh, you are that big viewer. Okay. You've changed a lot since then. Jesus Christ, I have not seen you in so long period. Where did you go? I've not seen you in forever. Yeah, let's see. So you can still affect the children, though, by adopting them. You take away the peer influence of the other foster children, and you can give them good peers if you're rich enough to live in a good neighborhood. That's true. America is a dystopia, and it's not even cyberpunk. It's awful. I agree. Just came back, and yeah, shut up, Spacey. Adoptive parents have tons of statistical effects on their children, especially if they're adopted at a young age. Look it up online and see what ages the twins were in that study. I bet they're several years old. But yeah, it's... period, you sound much more, like, mature now and different. Like, you seem much more older than you used to sound in those comments that you would send me. Yeah, it seems like you've changed a lot for the better, and that's good to hear, because, like, when I used to talk to you in comments and on Twitter and stuff, like, I would get, like, really concerned and worried about you, so I'm glad that you're doing better now. You seem to be doing well based on the comments you've left. You're a good boy. I like you. I'm working on the Birdman script. What Birdman script? I've never heard about a Birdman script. Not sure how people will feel about it. I've never seen the film, so I have no idea. If it's well written, then people will like it. If it's not well written, then people won't like it. I don't know. Read The Nurture Assumption by Judith Harris. I don't even know who that is. Read Wittgenstein, alright? You gotta read Ludwig, my boy Ludwig. He's a hero, alright? Don't be slipping up. If you want philosophers, read Ludwig, because he understands the truth about language, goddammit. In any case, sometimes I wonder, like, what is the culture of my channel? Like, who are these people that watch my videos? Because lately I've been finding more and more, like, estranged viewers in my comments section who I don't recognize. Like, the thing with my channel is that I've always continually found, you know, friends on here that I talk to on Discord. If you're a viewer of my channel, I will just speak to you on Discord in some capacity. I did that with JetJune, I did that with Irrelevant, I did that with Weeb Trash Productions. I've done that with basically, like, all the people I've met here, but I've found so many people with, like, Pepe icons and just, like, weird memetic things in their name, and, you know, hikikomoris and stuff, and, like, just random people like that I don't talk to on Discord. There was the board owner for the Hikikomori board on 8chan, he had found a video of mine and he sent me his Discord, and then I went to the Hikikomori server that he was running, and that was a fascinating experience because I never thought I'd be talking to the literal board owner of the Hiki board on 8chan. That was incredible. I met a lot of people there. I became friends with a lot of people because of that. You know, let's see. Okay, reading the chat. I haven't changed a bit. I've been finishing high school, trying to figure out a good ethical paradigm with anti-realist metaphysics, but it immediately failed, so I just don't fucking know it. So I just do fucking nothing now. That's fair. I don't know, generally the way that you present yourself has changed, is what I mean to say. She basically retracted her views on that book. LMAO when, nobody knows. Is it dangerous to claim that parents have no power at all, other than generic to blah blah blah? A confession. When I made the proposal, I don't care about this conversation. Oh yeah, that one time we talked and I had to go. Oh, you're irrelevant. Okay. I had no idea that Alex Gerzantios was irrelevant. I literally did not know that. I had an expectation that he was, but now that just has been confirmed to me. But yeah, like when I look at my viewership, I just think, okay, who are these people? You know, who could possibly be sitting on my videos and thinking this is a YouTuber that I watch, not a friend who I just watch their videos out of curiosity or even in some cases pity. Oh geez, this is way too loud. Let me turn this fucking music down. Okay. Yeah, like people I've often thought will just watch my videos because, yeah, they're my friends, you know? They're gonna watch it to keep up with whatever I'm doing. But I've never considered the idea that eventually I will just have viewers who care about my content and who follow me as a person. Like, that thought is weird to me, and I still haven't entirely wrapped my head around it, but I've just continually found commenters who I don't speak with on Discord, and it's weird, right? I don't know how to feel about it, dude. I don't get it. Help. And the weird thing as well is that, like, so many of my viewers seem like surprisingly dedicated for someone as niche as I am. Like, the content I make is not that good. It's just me rambling at a screen for, you know, 10 minutes or whatever about whatever's going on, and yet somehow I've continually been able to get these people to come back, and I just gotta wonder why sometimes, you know? Why the fuck is the thing not working? God damn it, I hate this so much. Okay. Jesus Christ, they're still arguing about this. Judith Harris doesn't dismiss the effects of blah blah blah. I don't care. I don't think of you as a YouTuber, just as a stranger that is allowing me to voyeuristically see into your thoughts and life. It's not that different from reading a book and seeing the other's thoughts. Huh. Yeah. I think that's a good way of describing my channel, actually. Like, my videos are not meant to be me sitting here and creating a product. My videos are meant to be me venting my frustrations and trying to put out the existence, to put out my existence in my art. Like, just stream of consciousness, putting everything out there, letting it all exist, and, you know, just showing those thoughts unadulterated. And sometimes, you know, I may add an artsy element, and I may, you know, put in like, oh, here's a song here, here's a weird visual gag that I'm doing or whatever, but most of the time it's just the raw experience, you know, it's just, this is exactly who I am, and there is no curtain here, I'm just giving you the full story, you know, I'm not a YouTuber in that sense. Like, I'm just this person that exists. I am you know, the point of my videos is to be a person. I remember the Digibro After Dark video is one of my favorite videos of all time. It was called Why Digibro is Still After Dark. And he essentially explained that, like, the reason why he makes his videos isn't to necessarily advocate who he is, it is to sit there and say a person like this can exist. And by making the videos that I do, I am showing that a person like this is valid and that they can be understood. And the point of my videos is exactly the same. I am not a YouTuber, I'm not a cult of personality, I am simply a person who is trying to explain themselves, who is trying to be understood, who is trying to express their existence. And that's why communication, that's why communication in my comment sections is so important to me. Because when people comment on my videos and they have concerns or they have general things to say, I usually try to reply to them. I don't always reply to them, but I usually try to leave a reply because I want them to know that their words are being heard. I want them to know that the person behind the curtain, you know, is paying attention, that they are watching, that they are taking the words of the ones on the outside into account. And so it is really just about self-expression and about communication. I want it to be honest. I want it to be genuine, and I don't view myself as someone who is above my audience. You know, hell, sometimes I wonder why I even have one. Like, why would I sit here and feel that I am above any of you when all I do is just make videos on the internet just expressing what my life is? Like, there's no real you know, there's no real ego to be found in that. It's just me being a fucking idiot on the internet. And so when I see my viewers, these strangers, these you know, pictures that I interact with, profile pictures, excuse me, these profile pictures that I just see floating in existence, that I interact with, I don't see them as like, ugh, commenters this, commenters that. I see them as these human beings who are stumbling upon my ramblings and deciding to indulge in them. And the fact that they're trying to indulge in them is really valuable to me. And I appreciate it a lot. I generally, you know, love anybody who stumbles upon the stuff I say and decides to listen. I'm simply a humble storyteller, and my purpose is just that. But okay, Moon O says, your channel is the only thing that YouTube, the internet, and communication should ever be used for. The good old vlog self-expression. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, the reason why I make my videos the way that I do is because I want this type of content to exist. Like, I really want people to be honest with themselves and to be honest with their audience and to, you know, just like put everything out there, just say words, you know. I think anything beyond that is just trying to build this like cult around the idea of yourself that you've crafted, when that should not be the goal of communication, because that doesn't teach us anything. By me sitting here and giving you a fully honest portrayal of who I am, I'm teaching you something about the world and about how humans are and about what a human can be. And I think that's very valuable because it's just an exchange of ideas and of culture to people. You know, we learn something a little bit just by speaking to every person who we speak to, and that's one of the reasons why I engage in the comments section, because I want my commenters to know that I'm listening to them and that that there's a communication happening here, that I'm learning from them just as much as they're learning from me. And so yeah, it's just about honesty. You know, you look at all these channels and they try to create a cult around who they are. They try to create a character, but I think what's far more interesting is just the experiences that led you to being who you are and how you interact with them. DZ says the old ways of the net will live again. I don't really know what the old ways of the net like are. because I didn't grow up in that time, so I don't really know about it. Like, I've looked at old 4chan archives, and I like that way that the internet used to be. I think that's pretty cool. I'd like the internet to be more of that. Of course, you know, I go on Sushi Girl, and I go on, I mean, you can see it right here, like, you know, you've got Oboy-chan and Arizu-chan, and if you look at more of my bookmarks here, you know, you've got Lane-chan and Wizard-chan, MLPoll.net, or My Little Politics, like, you know, it's, I search for places to go on the internet, and I go on a lot of chans. We need to seize the means of communication from the normie commercialists. Yes! 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 See, you understand. You understand the struggle here, period. You know. You know the truth. Yeah, I think me being a communist actually largely informs my content in many ways, because it's directly going against what's marketable and, like, what is seen as okay in the YouTube sphere. Like, if you look at my video, torrent every anime, fuck the industry, like, the way that I word that video is basically just, yeah, torrent all the shows, because I don't care, and people are gonna pay for them for me, so who cares? Like, you know, if people are gonna buy the shows and keep them existing, why should my contribution matter? It's the most fatalistic perspective you could possibly have on torrenting, and it's not one that's represented by many, because people are scared to say that shit. Like, the people who are making videos are either just complete Crunchyroll shills, or when they talk about pirating anime, they have this, like, weird idea about still saving the industry, but they aren't sure how to go about it. I just say, fuck the industry, who cares? And I say it in a very specific way that, like, is very abrasive and aggressive and doesn't invite people. Like, Digi, when he made his video on piracy, he was still inviting people to his side. I just say, fuck it, who cares? This is who I am, and I don't care. And, like, I think the way that I present myself in a very unmarketable way is, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I'm directly rebelling against what is okay for YouTube, because I don't care. Like, I don't care about getting an audience. I literally just do YouTube as a hobby. Doing YouTube as a hobby is all I care about. How's Arizu compared to Lane? I only ever go to Lane basically for HUM, and never got into Arizu for whatever reason. What I like about Arizu-chan is that they have a lot of, like, cybersecurity stuff on there, and it's really interesting to just have people discuss cybersecurity, because if you look at the you know, the things I have on here, like Decentralize, User Agent Switcher, Toggle Self, HTTPS Everywhere, Ghostery, WebRTC Leak Prevent, like, a lot of those plugins I have are because of stuff that I saw on Arizu-chan, and you know, like, I see, like, VPNs and stuff recommended on there, and just different stuff you can use to get around privacy, and I think it's really cool because of that. As someone who's really into just internet privacy in general, even though I put my entire life on the internet, I still like to be private here and there. So, I think it's cool because of that, and just, like, talking about general, you know, general cybersecurity stuff. It's cool. That's really the value out of Arizu-chan for me. Like, the Feels board is pretty alright. There's a lot of trans people on the Feels board, and it can be interesting. People say that all the time about voting and shit. It isn't that edgy. I wasn't implying it was that edgy. Nintendo will be fine? I don't know what that's in reference to. I don't think I mentioned Nintendo. I also see it about piracy specifically, but usually with the added caveat of I'm poor, which is kind of implicit with all your videos. That is true. I am very poor. Like, the reason that my videos even exist is because my friend Peter, my friend Foggy, he literally gave me the laptop that I'm using for free. If I didn't have this laptop, there'd be no videos. Moon-O says, are you using normal Chrome or Chromium-based browser? I'm using normal Chrome, which is shit for privacy. Honestly, just use Firefox if you want a more private browser. Don't use Chrome, but I use Chrome anyway because all of my stuff is here and I like the way the browser is set up. DZ says, plus a lot of old game source codes have all but disappeared. Oh, that's really sad. Like, keep that shit archived. If anyone has the ability to keep things like that archived, they should be archived. Like, video game source codes, just anything about, like, how they're designed, any information pertaining to the development, all of that should be saved. If that is gone, it's bad. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't delete stuff because it needs to be archived. Just for future generations to be able to understand that this is how things work. This is how things work. It's sad to me that so much of it goes away, because we can still learn from it. You know, we can still learn from the past, but if the past is gone, then there's nothing that we can look at to see how we've improved and all that. It's just nice to see how history has progressed. I have a question for you, Moon-O, because it seems as if you are a pretty big fan of my content by this point, or just generally, like, view my stuff positively, at least. What do you think led you to feeling that way? Because I remember back when you used to comment on my videos years and years ago, you used to, like, just constantly talk about how shit my content was and how I'd literally never improve. Like, I remember you used to say you had very little confidence in me ever getting better, and now here you are watching my videos and saying they're good. So, like, what do you think led to that change, either in, your mindset or mine? I'm really afraid of games today. 30 years from now, games will be gone, all because of streaming culture like Steam. Yeah, it's really shit, because, like, you're basically just buying a license for games. You're not owning a physical copy or something that is tangible. You just have the license to use their service, and once their service decides to be terminated, or once they decide that they don't want you to have the game anymore, that game does not exist. And so I will just pirate I will just pirate all the games so I can have them backed up on a hard drive somewhere, and even then that's not absolute. But I mean, all storage media isn't super absolute. That's why you have to make multiple copies all over the place. But with Steam it's especially bad because you're just buying a license. You don't own those games, and so it's best to it's best to try and get things physically, and if you get it digitally, get as much copies of it as you can. I use edgy not in the sense like Shadow the Hedgehog or whatever, but as in on the absolute edge of opinion. Was just saying that your privacy take isn't so extremist as to be out of the convo. A true edgelord would say that art isn't work and should never be monetizable because it corrupts expression, so all people should not support art whatsoever. Yeah, that's... I don't think I was that extreme either. I was more so trying to say that I'm extreme in how I present it. I said it a few days ago. I am awful but have no problems, and I need to see someone who's doing worse to feel like I don't matter and continue. Yeah, that's fair. I think the fact that I've been honest about how bad my life has been certainly adds an appeal to my channel. Because people can look at it and they can say, well, if this person is continuing to live, then so can I. Before I shout on you only because I was in a mindset that I need to improve my analytical mind by forcing myself into criticizing everything. That's fair. I think I kind of did the same thing to a couple friends of mine. I would just criticize everything they did all the time, even when I liked it. Like, my best friend back in 2017, Weeb Trash Productions, like, I would always tell him like all the different problems I had with his videos, even though he was one of my favorite YouTubers at the time. And like, I would tell him all the positive aspects of his videos while also shitting on him really intensely, and like it would seem weird and confusing because I would just mention all these little nitpicks that I had. They weren't nitpicks I cared about, but they were, you know, they were just things that I was saying, you know, in the point of criticism, like just to criticize something because I want to criticize it, not because the criticism is valuable or good, because I can criticize it by being analytical and that'll help me be more analytical, you know? It's basically just doing it because, which is, I think, the opposite of how you should be doing things. I think you should try to approach everything from what point can I gather from this, or like, is this at all interesting in some way? But I mean, I certainly understand where you're coming from, and I liked it at the time because I liked being criticized because I felt it helped me grow. But with certain things, it just felt that you were being a little bit, you know, a little bit extreme with saying that I was never gonna change or whatever. Like, obviously being critical is one thing, but saying that you can't ever get better is, I don't know. I think it wasn't something that you could predict at the time. No one can predict that, to be honest. But yeah, I can agree that it was an extreme presentation, i.e. unconvincing. Yes, that was the point. I was trying to make it unconvincing because I just wanted it to be an angry rant, and I was more focused on being interesting than actually, you know, trying to make something that people could agree with. You know, it wasn't a video trying to convince you, it was a video of me explaining my perspective. And criticism is the only possible self-expression that would need to be signaled to another for mutual improvement. That is very true. Epicurean shit, you know. I need to read Epicurus. My friend Hunter x Hunter Dick Writing Association keeps telling me to. I need to read him. But yeah, that is true. I would definitely agree with that. I'd say the true communism of your videos is how you don't really attempt to make them relevant or put much work into polishing them. A very I exist for my own sake, not to fit in the market POV. That is very true. You're definitely right about that. Like, I don't try very hard to be anything. Like, I exist because I want these thoughts to exist in the world, and because I am here, because I am who I am, and yeah, like, YouTube is more for me than it is for anybody else, and so if you're not making something for a market, then you're not putting it out in the world to be for other people, then you're, you know, you're not trying to make money, you're basically just doing whatever. And like, if you look at something like full communism, everybody has all the food and everything they need, so the idea is that they can just do whatever they want. And what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember. The one who wrote, what was it? I can't remember the name of the writer anymore, but he did a good essay about this. Fuck, I can't remember, but yeah, like, it's basically just the idea is that everybody's doing whatever they want, and he's good. Yeah, I was projecting about the change, but I still don't think you could make good money from analytical videos. I think Digi will soon enough be out of the analysis job. Yeah, that is true. At the time, I wanted to make money from analytical videos because I felt that there was no other direction for me in life. I felt that there was nothing else I could do, which that was my cardinal sin at the time. That's where I was being stupid, was because I thought I could actually make money from this. No, I couldn't. But I was trying to, and that was dumb. And yeah, I don't respect the fact that I had that opinion at one point. I was just so desperate to make money, because as I said in Struggles of an Outlaw 3, like, I thought I was gonna fail school, and I thought I would basically have no job because I was just this depressed kid who didn't know what to do. But damn, is his Kreia video good. Yeah, Mr. Cynical's Kreia video is really good. Epicureanism, hey, bish, don't even worry about it. Yeah, I mean, to an extent, yes. It is kind of like that, to be honest, but it's cool. I like Epicureanism. Yeah, I honestly think everyone's gonna be out of the analysis job. I think the people who've put, you know, the people who've been looking for this shit, like, don't care nearly as much as they used to, because it's less of a trend now. And I mean, Digi is being really creative with what he's doing sometimes, but a lot of his videos now are just like normal reviews, and I feel like a lot of people are just losing interest. He needs more young fans. He needs more people who are completely new to this genre of YouTube and then are excited by it and want to give him money. But you know, like, as for now, all of the old guard who have the money and who've been giving analysis channels money don't seem to really care that much. They don't seem to care as much as they used to, whereas in, like, 2016 and 2017, like, my friends like Cherry Boy Writer, everyone was patroning analysis channels. Like, everyone cared about who was making analysis videos. And, like, Digi's Patreon has been going up drastically, but I don't think that's gonna last. I think, I think it's going to go away at some point. I think everybody's gonna be out of a job in this YouTube thing. I'd recommend reading the History of Philosophy without Gaps Cast if you want to learn philosophy. Okay, I'll definitely check that out. I've got nothing but time at this point. Like, when I'm going out on walks, I can probably just listen to that instead of listening to music. To be fair, I'd rather die trying to be a YouTuber than wage cucking. Same, dude. Like, I'm gonna get a job soon, but I absolutely hate that. Like, because every single day that I spend at a job is just another hour wasted. I do nothing productive in that time other than get money. But money to do what? To fucking put towards food? To put towards these basic necessities everyone needs? Who cares? It's just me going out there and, like, spending 8 hours of my day, you know, just to come home and play video games for a little bit, go to sleep, and then do it all over again. It's just me trying to stay alive by that point, not doing something I enjoy. And I don't need that much money to stay alive. Like, if I just have the bare minimum amount of money to stay alive, then that's enough. I would much rather you know, possibly even die trying to do something I love than trying to be a wage cuck. Because at least if I die doing something I love, I was happy during that time. I was living a life that I could say I felt at least a little bit fulfilled here. And that's better than just wasting all of it with zero enjoyment whatsoever. What even is the point of doing that for so long if it's not something that you care about? If you're not working to get somewhere where you care about? And I'm willing to get a job for some time, but the only reason I'm doing that is because it leads me to better places. Yeah, having a job is bad. Don't do it. It's just a waste of your time, more or less. And I don't like it. Let's see. Wage cucking is superior to doing YouTube as a job. How? If you enjoy doing YouTube and you can get money while doing it, then how? There is no excuse for wage slaving. See, Sato gets it. He understands. Like, it's just not it's not a good life to live. I think it's really important to have a historical perspective on philosophy and different modes of thoughts, even if you don't read any philosophy or don't care about. It's good to get exposed to it. I would completely agree, because if you just expose yourself to as much media and thoughts as possible, then you are going to then you're going to feel, you know, you know, more fulfilled in life, and you're going to think generally more about how things work, and it's going to make you smarter. If you just constantly are inundating yourself with different perspectives, it's going to allow you to think from those different perspectives and not be too set in your own ways, and yeah, it just allows you to think more clearly about the world. And because you're always thinking in that analytical way, because you're always taking in analytical information, it's going to make you more, you know, more smart. There's studies about this. If you read more books, it's been proven to make you more empathetic and more smart, because it allows you to look into the perspectives of others and all that shit. And, you know, everyone has something to teach you about life to some extent, and so by hearing out their perspective, you're learning more about life. Let's see, I just made a 30-minute video basically in the style of yours that ends with wage cucking versus YouTube conclusion. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. If that's what you want to do, like, if that's the life that you enjoy, there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever your argument is, I'm sure it's fair for your specific situation. It's just that what I want is to indulge, you know, what I want is to do the things that make me happy. I need a job only because I'm awful at doing anything on my own accord and need a distraction. Yeah, that's fair. I think most people, they do their job and then they just see it as like, okay, this is the purpose that I have in life, and this is what's distracting me from the constant existential dread that I could be feeling at home. And for me, it doesn't really work very well, like, I'm gonna try again, but, like, you know, it's just, it's one of those things where, like, when I do things at home on my own, I feel much more motivated, because it's like, oh, hey, this is this thing that I care about and like doing. I'm gonna just do that forever. It feels nice, you know? But if you struggle with that motivation, and if you just need a distraction from existence, I would, you know, I completely understand that. I would rather be a comfy hikikomori with a job at home rather than working out in society. Yeah, having a job at home seems really nice. I would like to just go outside regularly, just to, like, you know, just to go to the gym and just to, you know, just see trees and travel and have fun, but working out in society itself, like going outside and working with other people, just seems like a mess, you know? It seems like something that would just quickly drain, you know, would just quickly drain me as a person. I like going outside more than I used to, but, you know, having a normie job just seems like a nightmare. Working a job at home seems nice, though. Work at home is cool, but a lot of it requires too much self-discipline and crazy deadlines. I'm one of those people who is somewhat good at self-discipline. Well, no, I'm bad at it, but I'm better at it than other people, so... And I have enough motivation to do it right. What I would prefer is to make movies or books, but without just working a job is better than YouTube. But without that, just working a job is better than YouTube. YouTube is a black hole that leeches off your life and forces you to become a corrupter of your own self. That's an interesting way of looking at it. Because I do think YouTube facilitates this, like, idea of yourself that you have to craft for an audience, and that is specifically something I'm trying to combat with my own channel, because the point is for me to be honest, right? The point is for me to say everything I'm feeling and to be better as a person. That's why I made a video saying that I was going to go outside more and that I was going to try and, like, improve myself and my lifestyle as a person, because there are a lot of people who watch my content and they see me as this hikikomori who I can relate to, but you know, I had to desert that identity. Even though I'm probably gonna lose some viewers because of that, it didn't matter to me, because what my viewers want is not what I want. What I want is what's best for me. And so, like, YouTube is not something I can let corrupt my attitudes. It's not something I can let corrupt how I go about life, because if I were to do that, then I would simply be a slave to my audience. And yeah, the videos that I do are completely honest because I don't want YouTube to leech off my life. So again, that's goes back to what you were saying with it being truly communist in a sense, because it's just, I say it exists for its own sake. Creating art for a wage is unethical because you need to stifle your self-expression in order to be marketable, especially with books. Moon, YouTube is way worse for stifling that than other art forms. Yeah, it's the worst. It's our commercialist society creating a need for hyper-reality, but any art will become that. Art being a job is a dangerous meme. I completely agree, to both of you. The thing about YouTube is that it's good to just upload everything here as like a platform, like everyone can do it for free, but people sort of inherently get lost in this trap of wanting to be the next, the next Digibro, or wanting to be the next PewDiePie, and so they start chasing algorithms, they start chasing, what is the most marketable and best content I can do, and yeah, it's just one of those things where, because money is involved, it's going to be more difficult for a lot of people to do what is truly an expression of themselves, and so it should just be done as a hobby. Like, you should just do it because you want to do it and because you have a story to tell. If you come onto YouTube and you don't have a fucking story to tell, don't come onto YouTube, nigga. Like, goddamn. Like, I see all these niggas out here, they trying to come in saying, okay, I can make this video, I can make all this money, but the reason why Digibro, the reason why all those other people make money is because they like it. It's because that's who they are. It's because they care about what they're doing. And if the only thing you care about it for is to make money, then you're not gonna succeed. Even Mother's Basement, to an extent, cares about what he's doing. He cares about it in a very market sense, but he still cares. If you don't give a shit about what you're doing, stop doing it and get a normal job. But yeah. By the way, Outlaw, do you do Anokey for language learning? I've never used Anokey at all. What is that? As someone who has a YouTube account since 2007 and has been a lurker since 2005, I can honestly say the U in YouTube died a long time ago. Yeah, I would completely agree with that, just based on looking at how videos used to be. Like, one of, I know Sato knows about this, but there's this person named Hihi-chan, where she was this vlogger, and she used to make videos just kind of like being silly and just like being this weird hikikomori. And I really like her videos because it was just like this raw expression of who she was, like, it's just a person. Her videos are just literally just showing a person that exists and trying to just be honest with herself and just expressing that. And I think that's where the you comes in. It comes in expressing who you are individually, and that's something that has died out in favor of trying to, just be this like corporate entity who, makes videos for the sake of getting viewers and of getting money, and like they don't care. They don't care about being themselves. They don't care about being someone people can identify with, because that's not what makes money. They just care about crafting this robotic idea of themselves. Every YouTuber who loves YouTube constantly complains about it, and 99% of those things saying it's so much better than working for others had spent like 4 weeks in the workforce before YouTubing. Yeah, that's true. That actually is a pretty good point. Anokey is for language learning. It presents you with a word first, and you try to remember what it means. Then it shows you the word, and then you rate how well you did. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. An algorithm puts it off for a few days for the best retention. It's just flashcards with algorithms. It's great for reading Japanese. It honestly gets fun to do daily. Okay, cool. I am going to remember that, and I'm going to use that from now on. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. That was a resource that I needed. Check out Matt vs. Japan for how to use it for Japanese. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. I'm gonna check that out. Oh boy. Yeah, language learning seems like it's gonna be really fun. I've been trying to get the resources set up for Vietnamese lately, and because the thing is that I was learning Japanese for a while, but my Japanese books got stolen back when I lived in Oklahoma, because when we left my father, we had left basically all of our stuff at the trailer that we were living at, in the trailer park, because my dad had threatened my mom with a knife the night before we left on my sister's birthday, and when we left, we couldn't bring a lot of our stuff, because if he saw that we were bringing all of our stuff, then he would have like freaked the fuck out and kept us from leaving the building to go to the McDonald's to meet with the Shawnee abuse woman. And so, yeah, like, it was basically just a mess at the time. I couldn't even bring my medication with me because I didn't want him to notice I was taking it. So, yeah, it was just a huge mess. An algorithm, he's kind of insane though, so don't listen to him too much. Remember the Kanji is shit. Yeah, I used to have Remember the Kanji. My friend Foggy bought it for me for my birthday, and I had tried using it, but it didn't work very well. It's I didn't really get it. I also tried using Remember the Kana, and that one wasn't very good either. And those were the books that got stolen, by the way, back in Oklahoma when we left. Like, so if Remember the Kanji is shit, I guess the book that got stolen wasn't too big of a deal. My fucking copy of The Triflers by Mumkey Jones got stolen too. I'm still mad about that, because if I recall correctly, that book is not in print anymore. My copy of The Triflers got stolen. That I've cared about that. Whatever. Also, AJAT is a useless cult. Remember the Kanji is useless because in the end you'll find your own mnemonics you can remember, and each kanji will use them differently. Okay. I am going to be right back because I need to get a drink, because I've just like been sitting here talking for fucking hours. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put on some music. Where maybe do you want to put on MSI? What do you want me to put on? I'll put on something less offensive. Desktop music. Yeah, I will be literally right back. Denpa? I don't want to put Denpa on. Let's put on this song, Pazuru. Okay, so let me go. If you work for someone else, you can't just pretend you're under communism. We're assigned the job, and that all your co-workers and bosses get the same check as you at the end of the week. What? What are you talking about, Spacey? I don't... What are you talking about? I think The Triflers is an ebook now. Okay, I don't like ebooks, I only like physical books. If you're a YouTuber, you must confront capitalism. Not if you don't get paid for it and you do it as a hobby. Mumkey's book got pulled from Amazon. Oh, so it only got pulled from Amazon? It might still be on Lulu. Let me look that up. The Triflers... Mumkey Jones... oh, it's right here. Oops. We can't find this product. So it got pulled from Lulu. Yeah. That's unfortunate, because I did really like that book. Also, how is the audio coming in? Because I have music going right now, so I don't know how I sound if the music is drowning out my voice. The Elliot Rodger, the music is impossible to hear. How about now? Is it more hearable now? Let's see. The Elliot Rodger one got pulled because Jeff Kinney threatened to sue, but it was a parody. It was literally a parody. The music is impossible. Oh, okay. The audio is fine. I mean, I get the Elliot book, but The Triflers is just a good literary artwork. Yeah, exactly. The Triflers was a great book. Like, I read the entire thing over the course of 2 days. Just non-stop, I just kept reading it, and I absolutely loved it. Like, I haven't read that many books, so I'm probably not the best one to judge, but, like, that book is one of my favorite books. I was making the joke with the pretending to be under communism, and I'm not surprised or insulted you didn't get it because it is built off a web in my head. Okay. So you're just doing a weird narrative thing. I get it. The NHK soundtrack is so good. Mumkey can't afford to get sued even if he'd win. Yeah, I would agree with that. A lot of the songs off the NHK soundtrack get copyright struck on YouTube, so I don't like using them in videos because they, you know, they on YouTube they'll just take it down. You know what? Let's put in Hitori no Tame Lullaby. Yeah, extended. I've used this song in several videos before. Man, I sure love living in the free world. Me too, bro. Me too. Not narrative, just built off of ideas and knowledge that would take too long to explain to make the joke make sense. That's fair. They get copyright struck, but then they come back for some reason? Okay. Have you read the NHK novel? No, I have not. I have a PDF of it on my computer that Tatsuhiro Sato gave me, actually. I just have not read it yet. Why do you use DuckDuckGo? Do you think someone actually cares about your data? Because it's funny? Like, I just am generally interested in privacy, and I think it's funny to use DuckDuckGo because it makes me look like a weird paranoid person. And also, like, I know no one cares about it, but at the same time, it is literally a violation of rights to have your data collected like this, so, you know, by upping the privacy on my computer, I'm just, you know, taking the power back, you know? It's my favorite thing ever. I highly recommend reading through it. Yeah, it seems like it would be one of my favorite things. It's, let's see, I also had the Japanese version if you want it. I seed it on Nya.si. Okay, cool. I will go on Nya and look it up, and then I'll download it. Because, I'd like to have it in Japanese. Are you an anarchist now? No. I don't... well, actually, now that I think about that, it did kind of imply being an anarchist. I just don't want to spy on everybody. Libertarian socialist? No. I am actually a Marxist-Leninist. Then what you talking about violating rights? Alright, listen, buddy. Listen here. Alright? I'm not gonna defend this. But, because the argument takes too long, but watch, there are good videos about this by this guy named Trostovich Edelman or whatever. I don't know how to say his name, but yeah, he's cool. He does good stuff. Okay, no, I hate spying, but I don't, like, I know the USSR and Albania and all those places did it, but like, they had to do it because of the way things were at the time. I don't think it was good, but it ensured, you know, their survival. Some of the things that they had to do that violated people's rights, yeah, it was fucked up, and yeah, it shouldn't have been done in an ideal world, but they didn't live in an ideal world. They did what they had to do to survive. And it's wrong. It really is, but, like, there's only so much you can do, you know? I would be a libertarian socialist if it were practical, but, like, the one-party state is honestly, like, the most practical application of socialism, as I understand it, at least. But yeah. I would like to find another way to make the system work. I haven't read enough, to be honest. There's, like, a lot more that I need to read, so don't, yeah. Well, what do you mean the NSA doesn't... we don't even need the NSA to exist. The NSA can't be defendable. Like, there is no reason for the NSA to even exist. But yeah, let's, I want this to be a comfy stream, because I don't like talking about politics on live streams. You live in too large of a country. Libertarian and anarchist decentralization can work if we stop thinking about ourselves as in giant cultural clusters. That is true. If you see, what was it called? Manchuria? In places like Manchuria, it actually is possible. But the thing is that, is that anarchist countries will inevitably fall due to a lack of global revolution. When like countries like America exist and they can come after anarchist states, then that country is just going to fall to, you know, capitalism or fascism, you know. Okay, let me turn this down for a moment. But yeah, like, what was I gonna say? Fucking, like, in a small country, it's going to be overthrown if it's an anarchist state. Like, it's just gonna happen, you know. So you can't really have socialism in one country while also being anarchist if other states exist to take you over. You know what I mean? Theoretically, it could work if other countries just didn't exist. Sadly, but Lane is a great anime. Lane is very good. I really love Lane a lot. I have a lot of images of Lane on my computer, actually. If I go into desktop, and if I go into my image folder, where is it? Yeah, it's right here. And if I go into wallpapers, a lot of my wallpapers are just Lane. Like, I like this one a lot. And this has got Let's All Love Lane, Let's All Love Lane just over and over again, like a wall of computer. This one's pretty cool. I like this one a lot. Juice That Makes You Aesthetic, that one's only okay. We got Izaya. NHK right here. More Izaya. More Izaya. It's just the character's too aesthetic. I have other Lane images on here that are pretty comfy. But yeah, I generally really like Lane a lot as an aesthetic. Lane is overrated. Moon, don't feel bad about it. Let's see. I like Lane aesthetically better than watching the anime and feel really guilty about not being able to go through it. Yeah, I think aesthetically the show is a little bit better, but at the same time, like, the themes of the show are just so strong to me that, like, I just can't not be interested by it, because, like, the idea of the girl, of Lane, like, just escaping into the internet to get away from real life and to sort of build this identity of herself through the internet, like, it's hikikomoris can relate to it, you know? Needs can relate to it. Image board posters and all that. Are you that Lane poster on HNB? No, I am not. I don't post on HNB very much, I only lurk. Lane, blah blah blah. The themes, yeah, the themes are good. I don't think it is, I just don't enjoy myself while watching it and feel that the writing isn't that incomprehensible how everyone says and feel disappointed by it. Yeah, that's one of the things Digi is right about in his video where he says that Lane isn't even that complex. It's kind of like just a basic drama. I'm gonna listen to the Serial Experiments Lane OST. Because it has a really good OST. Okay, let's move here. Yeah, I love what it describes and how it does it, but I hate while watching it, the episodic points aren't that interesting. Yeah, I can agree with that, but I think the overall package is just so strong that I can let go of that, personally. listening to lo-fi hip-hop right now to double tracking. Ayy! Did you see that PlayStation Lane game that got fan remade on a website? I have not. I'm gonna look that up right now. Serial Experiments Lane game? Let's see. PS1 game, all cutscenes. What does the game look like? What's the cover? Oh, cool! I love the cover of this game. Holy shit. I gotta buy this. Let's see. Lanegame.net is cool. It's not really a game as it is a series of clips that you navigate through weirdly. I had to put some on because the noise from your room mic setup would be unbearable without another track to mask it. Yeah, that's true. I don't have my mic right now because it got stolen back at the trailer and I couldn't bring it with me, so unfortunately I don't have the mic. Okay, all the files are saved. Why do you have so many mal tabs? Because the way I remember anime is I open their My Anime List tab instead of trying to like actually look for the instead of putting it into my plan to watch list. Wait, you can? Holy shit, okay. Okay, so let me see here. Girl, do you like me? If you do, come to my URL site. Is this the PS1 game? Is this how the PS1 game worked? What is this? Let's see here. What the fuck is this? How does this work? What am I? Yeah. Let's see. What am I doing? Woman's voice, but I can only see him. Lane die. I like the aesthetic of this. This is cool, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the narrative to this is at all. Let me... Again, Noah tags individualization life body. What the fuck is this? I don't know what this is. Let's see. Doesn't get watched later, shake my head. Honestly, it's better to navigate through the website because it creates a more comprehensive database of tags. It looked different, more like the Anime Wired, but yeah, that's all it is. It won't let me post it for some reason. Let me allow URLs. Manage moderators. Okay, so I made you a mod now, so it should probably allow you to post URLs. I don't know if that will fix it, but I hope so. Let's see if my torrent, how's my torrent doing? Oh, it's already done, okay. My copy of Chobits is done downloading. Okay, cool. Oh shit, I just broke the chat by accident. Okay, 1 minute. Let me restore the chat. Yeah, I've always really liked Hikikomori music a lot, or just like the general aesthetic of it, because yeah, I've not seen Chobits. Oops. Yeah, I've always really liked the general aesthetic of Hikikomori music because there are few feelings like isolating yourself within your room away from everybody else, and so to have that embodied in music I find to be really interesting. Like to take the feeling of isolation and to take the feeling of going insane and to put that into a song, the structure of the song is going to be really weird, or at least the general theming of the song is going to be weird. And so I think it's just an interesting topic to explore. Yeah, I haven't seen Chobits yet. It seems good. What are the most communist video games? I don't know. I haven't I haven't played a communist video game. I don't know. I guess whatever's free. Yeah, free indie games, as Moon said. I'm gonna link something in the chat called Neatcore Essentials. I think you might like this, Sato. It's on Rate Your Music. It's a really good chart of just like generally yeah, it worked. This Rate Your Music thing that I linked in chat has like a lot of really good music in it. Like there's gore shit, there's this thing called Emode, which is like Denpa music mixed with noise, and it's really good. Emode's Planet Spiral Bombing is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's really fucking good. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put that in right now. Emode Planet Spiral Bombing. It's great. Where is it? Is it not on YouTube? Full album. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? I've heard it on YouTube at one point. I know it's on here. Where is it? Fuck. Okay, never mind. Let's go back to listening to Lane. Princess Remedy, if you ignore that she's an imperialist. I've never played Princess Remedy. Is it good? Also, I forgot to change the name of the stream. I had a live stream that I was planning to do, but for some reason, I don't know why the name of the live stream was Depression is a Life Sentence. I don't even remember naming that. I named it that a while ago. Princess Remedy is a cute shmup. I recommend it. The sequel is worth $1 too. Okay. I'm gonna look that up. Princess Remedy torrent. GG Games. I hate pop-ups on websites like these. Open load. Where's a torrent, nigga? Oh god, I hate how this website always does this. It sends you to this stupid thing right here. Did I turn off HTTPS everywhere? Yes, I did. Okay, let me turn that back on. That's because that's woke. You are a cute nurse princess that helps people with depression and then get to date anyone you want. It's all I want in life. Yeah. Existence is a life sentence, Razkaz. But yeah, I'm downloading Princess Remedy right now. I like the aesthetic of this game based on what I'm seeing here. This looks cool. I believe, yeah, I downloaded the second game. I didn't download the first one. I'm just gonna play the second game. So how are all of you doing today? I know I've been talking a lot about myself this entire time. Life is meaningless. I wouldn't say that life is meaningless necessarily. I think it's about how you look at it, right? Ultimately, we all die, and there isn't really any meaning to what we do in the fucking to the what was I gonna say? Spacey's distracting me. I wouldn't say that there's like any inherent meaning to what we do as a whole, just because like eventually we all die and then everything's over, and everyone does that. But like it's it's one of those things. There's the meaning in it is just the enjoyment that you get from life. Uses DuckDuckGo browsers, torrenting things illegally live. I was torrenting other things. It wasn't just this. Like, I showed my torrents on I showed my torrents on stream. I don't think it's illegal because it's a free Steam game. The sequel is €4. What I downloaded was the sequel. Yeah, I didn't download the first game. I downloaded the sequel, so that was illegal. Let's try this game out. Graphics quality, normal. Okay. Yeah, let's do this window just because I... Okay, so it understands my controller. She also showed like 20 other ones, so... Piracy is a victimless crime. It is! I just made like 10 videos over 2 weeks, so we're okay, I guess. Piracy is an ethically superior crime. I agree! Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to, like, make this go on, like, one side of the screen. Fuck. Okay, so I'll just, like, tab back in and tab back out. File 1, normal. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the music because... And all the viewers are dying. But yeah, I would say piracy just outright does not matter. Is this a shmup? This doesn't look like a shmup, Moon. What is this? Where do I get to the shooting parts? I love the art style on this. Like, the art style on this is great. Oh man, this is great. I really like this. Oh, it is also the morally right thing to do. You have to talk to people to initiate battle. Okay. You wouldn't download a car. You get different powers if you're dating people. Okay. That's a very interesting mechanic. Healing mode. Oh, fuck. I feel better now, thanks anyway, so how about you? How about a date? Hey! You'll just throw a regular. Fellas in healing mode. Okay. Classroom. The boss one. Wait a minute, what did it say? Okay. Okay, what's going on in chat? Has it in a window but not proportioned so she can't see both things at once. Hey now. Hey now. Okay, how about that? Alright. Someday 3D printers will mean everyone has their own means of productions and you can download a car. That is true. Faculty? Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. This is actually really fun. Like, unironically, I really like this. I love the art style on this game. This is so cool. Okay, do I have 14 hearts? No, I don't. Corner of shame. No, I've already been over here. I often forget where I was last because I have a terrible memory. Like, I remember conversations and stuff people say pretty well, but everything else is just like, ugh. What did I find? Only 3 people watching, why not 9,000? Because I'm not that interesting. People already be downloading guns with that shit, screw the state. Am avoiding curses cause I said puzzles earlier and it never showed up in chat. Oh, pussies earlier and it never showed up in chat. This game also has an FPS mode after you finish it. Oh, cool! This art style in a first-person shooter would be incredible. Are you my granddaughter? Send message. Yes. What do you mean send message? Okay. One moment. One moment here. Let me go to Discord. What is Alex talking about? But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, this is the first stream I've done in a very long time. I have not done a stream where I, like, actually tried to interact with people in probably a year. So, it's surprising to me. It's surprising to me that people are as invested in this as they are, by any degree. I think I'm probably going to end off the stream here, though, just because I feel like I don't have anything else to say. But if any of you have any quick questions before I leave, like anything for me to talk about, go ahead, I guess. That Digi video was terrible. I thought it was pretty good. I think gender isn't real, but yeah. If any of you have questions for me before I get off, send them now. I thought the Digi video, like, generally the point he was making was pretty alright. If we didn't have gender, we wouldn't have so many problems that we have. Just let people be individuals and all that. Nothing is real. Yeah, exactly. Nothing. No, the existence of anything can't be proven. Like, the only thing that we know is true is your perception of reality. You cannot prove that reality exists. It is ultimately just fucking, yeah, that's the point. It's too early for this shit. It's like, it's 5:28 a.m. I've been up all night. What's the difference between a chickpea and a lentil? I don't know what these things are. Let me look that up. A lentil. A lentil is a blush. I don't. I'm not a gardener. I don't know about how these things work. Damn, Digi videos about the non-existence of gender not even real. Fuck. I wouldn't pay $200 for a lentil on my face. I have no idea what you're talking about. Not all chickpeas are lentils. What are they talking? I'm out of the loop on this. Is this a meme? I don't know what this is. It's a form. I don't know. Garbanzo bean. Okay, I know what that is. But yeah, it was nice talking to all of you guys. I'm gonna assume no one has any other questions, so I'm gonna head out. It was good. This was a fun stream. I'm probably gonna stream a little bit more when I have more things to say, but I just generally really liked the interaction that I got. Have you watched the YouTuber Unrested? No, I have not. I'll look him up. I will look him up now, and I'll watch him later. But erratic thinker, crazed perfectionist, shot analyzer, sometimes philosopher. Huh. Interesting. Let's see, let me check this out. Yeah, this guy looks cool. Conceited Tumblr bitch holds self-gratifying contest. Everyone has become an SJW. No one takes criticism anymore. Calling out fake deep web box channels. Oof. Oof. This man this man is a hero. He knows the truth. He knows the truth. But yeah. I want to watch his Japan videos. Like, these weird political videos seem bad, but his stuff on Japan's probably good, so I'll check him out. I'll give him a shot. But, he made a video about Hikikomori. Okay. I'll watch those. Are you subbed to Bithead 1000? I've never heard of him. Let me look that up. Bithead 1000. What does he do? It's like empty. Oh, this guy. Okay, yeah, I've heard of this guy before. He seems like pretty alright, like just a general like old video game YouTuber. He talks about pickups and stuff. He seems okay. I have not given his videos a shot, but I plan to at some point. They just seem like kind of like the same video game pickups stuff that people do. But yeah, I'm gonna head out of here now. You guys are nice. Thank you for listening to me for so long, and I'll see you all later.